Hello and welcome to the 67 Hail Hail YouTube channel. I'm not your usual host. Your usual host is sitting alongside me, Hamish Carton. I'm here today interviewing Celtic legend Jackie McNamara. It's a real treat for the video channel this week. So if you want to like and subscribe our videos, you will have plenty more of this kind of chat with Jackie and Hamish. And it's a fantastic time to be a Celtic supporter, a very exciting time. And we're looking forward to giving you more great content as the weeks and months go on. First up, we're going to discuss the Celtic and Hamilton match. Celtic got their Scottish Premiership campaign off to a flying start at Celtic Park yesterday behind closed doors. 5-1, outstanding goals, outstanding match given the circumstances. And I think it was really the perfect start to kind of go for 10 in a row, which is the big aim this season. Now, Jackie was one of the lucky people inside Celtic Park yesterday doing a bit of punditry for Celtic TV. I'm sure you'd like to wish him well with me. It was great to see him back at Celtic Park, and it was great to see him on punditry duties alongside Michael Stewart and Jerry McCulloch. So we'll touch on first, Jackie, just what was the experience like of being inside Celtic Park, behind closed doors, a full-blown match going on, kind of strange procedures in terms of public health and no fans in attendance. Was it a strange atmosphere, and did you get used to it as the match went on?
Yeah, it was strange. I think it was first and foremost it was great to be back. And especially when unfurling the flag.
Yeah.
And personally, to get back for the first game, you said that to me in March.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back there for the first game and everything else that's been on. It's been
Fantastic.
crazy times, but it was strange because of the fans are all there first and foremost, and then they get the noise coming through the tannoy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just waves of attack. And especially the first half. I know Neil wasn't too happy with the tempo, but I thought the players, you obviously spoke to them at half time, but I thought they raised their game a lot more. I still thought they were good enough in the first half as well.
Who was the top performers for you on the day? Outside obvious of Edouard, was there anyone else in the team that really caught your eye?
Yeah, obviously Edouard getting a hat-trick. I think it's fantastic. He's done that in the first game. He's not scored a lot of goals in the friendlies so far. And usually at this stage, it maybe takes eight games, maybe take it up to full match speed over the 90 minutes, which is why we always seem to struggle with the qualifiers before the league starts. And I think this might help that. I thought Edouard he took his goals well. I thought Frimpong, like you said, he was involved quite heavily in the first couple of goals, a few sore ones as well. I was delighted for Taylor with his assists, his 2 assists in the first half, and getting forward. It was something that was maybe, spoke about at the end of the season, that he wasn't getting into the forward positions, more defensive than ball and goalie, and I think he's shown that he can do both. So I was delighted for him, and I think just the usual suspects are Callum and Scott Brown in there. Callum, his passing, his weight of pass, his vision, just he takes people out with that, and especially the second goal. It's straight
absolutely.
Touch out his feet, gets in the right position, and Frimpong was at the back post to stick it in. But I think their attitude, they want to score more. They're at it. They weren't just content to at 4-1 just to sit there. They kept pushing, and I think that's something that Neil's instilled in them. Since he's came back to the club.
And quite impressive in the circumstances when you consider that it's been a very difficult year for everyone, and there was, difficult circumstances in training and pre-season training and travelling off to Loughborough and in France. There was, for me personally, a little bit of anxiety in the sense that you kind of worry what are they going to be like from the off? Are they going to take a while to get up to speed here? But as you say, their attitude and winning mentality is just unreal, because they were just at it from minute one. They were just really on it, and I think I would say it was a statement performance. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said Neil spoke about it after the game, that he wasn't he thought they were a bit passive at times in the first half, and he wanted more energy in the team, and they definitely shown that in the second half, and they got the goals and kept pushing. He was allowed to make a few changes, and I was delighted for Kamala coming on and he looked quite strong with his finish and holding off the defender and slotting it. So there's a lot of pluses yesterday, and five goals at home in the first game is it's a great start.
Now, myself and Hamish, and perhaps yourself too, as were all Celtic fans, one of the big talking points, even though Edouard was outstanding yesterday, is just the need of Celtic to keep Edouard for the coming season. I think, again, he proved that, he is the main man at Celtic, and that our ambitions for 10 in a row and more trophies and progressing in Europe, for me, I would say as a regular punter Celtic fan, if we keep Edouard, it's a guarantee we'll win 10 in a row almost. But
yeah.
Are you worried, Hamish, about losing Edouard? And Jackie, do you think Celtic need to keep him to kind of push for 10 in a row? Or do you think that, it's just part of the cycle at Celtic, that it's inevitable that a big bid's going to come in? I'll start with you, Hamish.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of your first question and of how I feel about Edouard, I don't think the club will be, entertaining any bids for him. Obviously, any player at Celtic is, available at some price, and I know there's been murmurings of Leicester and a few other teams been interested, but I just don't see the club cashing in on him at all. I think you saw the impact this weekend of what he has on the team. He didn't even play that well, I don't think, and he still walked away with a hat-trick and, probably the standout player in the opening weekend of the whole league. So the importance that he has to the team in our quest for 10 in a row was, showcased at the weekend. And I know a lot of Celtic fans have been a little bit worried about him going maybe, and it's kind of stemmed from almost the club looking to bring in another striker, that they're almost thinking that means that, we could be entertaining bids for Edouard, but I'm pretty confident. I don't think the club will cash in on him unless, like a huge bid comes in. And I think there's a massive question over, if English teams, French, Spanish teams will even be looking to spend huge money this summer.
No, I don't think he will go anywhere this season. I think the players that will leave the club this season are the ones that they don't want. I think it's too important. The money side of it, I think similar to last year. But I think the club over the last number of years has been very good at doing things at the right time and maximising it, and then replacing them. When Dembele left 2 seasons ago, at the end of the transfer window, it was doom and gloom. Edouard might not have had that opportunity to shine the way he has since then. When maybe in the shadows of Dembele and waiting for opportunities with only one striker, which Brendan done a lot of the time. So it's so what they'll be doing is looking up for the possibly the following season, if it's next year, if we get 10, when we get 10 in a row, is that you can only keep players for so long, as we've seen. It's regardless of them actually loving the club or loving their time at the club. It's very, very difficult for a club to compete. You see it when they do leave the club. You look at Van Dijk's now, 75 million to Liverpool. Kieran going down there last summer, and already they're saying 25 million's a snip because he's doing it in their league, which is so. It's always been the case, and there's no doubt at one stage. Hopefully, it's a lot later on in terms of Edouard, but Celtic will actively be looking for replacements for every position that they feel they'll lose over the next few years.